And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your
We are the last Americans. We are the last Americans. We are the last Americans.
Yo. What is going on, everybody?
Hello.
Hello.
Word it up.
Word up.
Happy
Everybody do the yo-yo.
Happy cold Monday, guys.
Happy cold Monday.
Oh, yeah, dude. Which is titty cold.
Yeah, you're getting it over there in the Northwest, right?
Yeah, man. We got 3 to 4 inches of snow.
Oh,
Nice.
Just he said.
I tried to stick my dick in it to see it, just to measure. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
fully erect. I'm like, okay. It's
Do you have to?
halfway up the
But you'd
shaft.
have to like lay fully in it to do that, right?
Well, yeah, you have to hump the snow.
Mm.
I mean, I let no good snow go to waste. All right.
So do
I'm
you
gonna
do
hump all
getting
of
like
it.
push up the
Whoa.
push up position,
The push up.
the push up position, and then kind of just dip?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of a downward dog. You know, I don't know. We try to keep it sane. I
Okay.
don't want the kids to know what I'm doing. I'm
Yeah.
Okay.
doing my yoga poses. I'm saying, Daddy's doing his yoga. Go away, kids.
God, I hope so.
It's like
Yeah.
yoga. It's like almost like a cold plunge for the dick.
Oh.
It is. It
So I
wakes
wonder
your
if
ass
that-
up.
Yeah, I wonder if that makes you.
Stick your dick in some snow.
It's
Healthier.
healthy. It's good for you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so a couple inches. Okay, a couple inches. You said it's been sticking around, hanging out.
Yeah. So I was out there, neighbor Jeff.
Yeah.
We were out there shoveling some snow. We were doing some, getting it all cleared. So we have like drivable paths. It's funny because like you look at everybody's driveway and it's just Jeff's driveway and my driveway have like just 2 clear paths. No one else has a clear path. So
Yeah.
it's like, we did the digging. So, hey, we're going to, and he has like the salt, he went and I purchased a couple bags of salt. We laid it down and it's okay, but it's supposed to do some freezing rain tomorrow. So
Yeah.
it's like back at it again.
It's cold here.
Yeah, it's cold here.
Yeah, it's cold.
It's supposed to get down to like 15 tonight.
Something like
Well, I
my
wanted to
house.
know if you had that thick ice because last year,
No,
Chris
we haven't
sent
got
a
that.
No,
video.
we haven't got any of that yet. I don't think we're going to.
No, I mean, I drove over here. And
At
it's,
least in this storm.
It's fine, dude. I mean, it's like, you just drive slower. You can kind of see where the wet spots are and they're froze over and stuff. My driveway was like frozen, like sheet of ice on the driveway. But other than that, it's fine, dude. It is what it is. We're not supposed to
It
get
is
any
what it is.
snow. We did get a little of a haze today. You know what I mean? A little of a dusting. Versus
Does it
joking.
ever snow in Houston?
God, I don't know. I
I
actually
was
don't
thinking
know.
like it doesn't.
Man, I think it probably has. I don't know if that's that common. We just got that
don't
warm
know.
Gulf temperature that kind of keeps it, relatively
I know
warm.
just a little north of us, it's a lot worse than here.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
know a little bit south of us is actually worse than here.
Is it?
Like where I work at, the area I deliver in is like, they're saying like the roads are pretty bad.
Mm.
So, and there was a
Well,
huge
I mean-
like semi crash on the Katy Freeway, and that's like right
Mm.
where I'm.
Yeah.
As long as you guys stay safe, and
we're good.
I was just wondering if you were jealous of me doing the dip, the
No.
stick
Yes.
dip right into the snow.
Nah,
I'm
good.
gonna start calling that the Iowa Caucus. The
Yeah.
Iowa Caucus is
Yes.
doing the snow dive.
They got a lot of snow too.
Iowa?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just looked it up. If you're bringing that shit up, we were talking about it when I got here with
Yeah.
Chris, and it's kind of been back and forth, but apparently updated at 8:07 p.m. Central Time. It says delegates shared the proportionally among top candidates. 1,215 delegates needed to win the nomination. The Associated Press has called this race for Donald Trump. He had 53.2% of the vote, with DeSantis at 19.5%, Nikki Haley at 18.3%, and Vivek at 8%.
Mm.
You know what? That's surprising. Is it?
The Vivek
Like,
did so badly.
Vivek, yeah, I thought Vivek would be at least top 3.
Well, I don't think it's that. I don't know. I don't really find it that surprising. I think he's got some good momentum. I think he's doing some decent things. But yeah, you're talking about Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, bro. I mean,
Yeah, but do you guys really know who Nikki Haley is?
no, but I don't really think that's the point. No, I don't know all the stuff
But,
about her.
well, no, I mean, like the point that I'm trying to make is like Vivek has had a name for, he's made a name for himself, like being like the outlandish one, saying things that are true. You know what I mean?
Well,
Even though he's kind of like a conniving, I don't know.
yeah.
I don't really trust him, but like at least he's saying things that spark the curiosity and people go, oh, Yeah. Okay.
I think younger people, I think that Vivek's done a pretty decent job with like using TikTok and social media, kind of like Trump did. So I think that like with younger people, they probably recognize him, decently. Older, if you're talking about older, I think just Ron DeSantis and even Nikki Haley. I mean, Nikki Haley's been in the politics game for quite a while. And I think that just name recognition, it's not all that shocking that I think she's kind of gross personally. But, I don't know. Maybe people just recognize her name and,
Well, you know what? They always say you never trust somebody with two first names. Nikki Haley. I mean, fuck, I can't trust that.
Yeah, man.
I can't trust that shit.
Yeah,
two
that's
first
true.
names.
That's
yeah,
true.
that's weird.
I just,
Well, wait a second. David Thomas. Holy shit.
Well,
I can't trust you, Dave.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Dave Tom.
I would say like Thomas is not the most common first name.
Thomas? Yes, it is, dude.
Is
Tommy
it?
That's like the
Thomas.
like
Just Thomas? I don't know. I mean, it is, I guess, but it's not freaking Haley. It's not Nikki.
That's true.
No, that'd be weird if your name was Nikki.
I mean, some guys. I think there's some guys that have Nikki.
I don't know anyone.
I don't personally know. I feel like there probably is, though.
Like,
wrong.
The Nikki with the I though at the end.
Yeah,
that's total girl move. Like,
so are you shocked by it? I'm not shocked by it. I told Chris. He said it looks like Trump's winning. I said, I didn't really think it would go any other way. Honestly, like I was more interested in seeing, like you just said, Vivek and those guys. Where do they stand as far as like in the completion? What percentage did they actually get? And how? Because I would say Vivek probably would. His votes are probably going to translate over well to Trump. I would say, arguably, there's a lot of people. If you do watch his little town halls and things that he puts on, he gets quite a few questions, and I've seen it a couple times now where somebody's like, "Listen, how do I vote for you and also still like not make that feel like I'm not supporting Trump in his tribulations that's going on right now?" So people like really like Trump are looking at Vivek. So I think if he ever was out of the race, I think that would be pretty easily said that those votes would go straight to Trump. Nikki Haley, I'm not so much. You know what I mean? Ron DeSantis probably translates to Trump decently, but he actually had a couple volunteers that they were talking to, interviewing the other day, and they were like, "Hey, man, if DeSantis doesn't win, I'm not voting for Trump at all." So, like, how many translate? Like, I would think quite a few.
I think probably most.
I would think probably quite a few. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea where to even begin with the numbers, but at some point, everybody's come together.
I mean, I could actually see Vivek be like a VP, you know what I mean? VP nominee, because he has that bite when he says something. Like, he's very quick-witted.
Yeah.
He's almost like a spokesman for Trump. You know what I mean?
Sort of. But there's been
Trump
some
could use him as like a
controversy
spokesman.
the past couple of days, though, with Trump called him out a little bit the other day, because Vivek was telling people, like, his new scheme, kind of his new, what he was saying at his things was that, the only way to save Trump is to vote for me. Like that
What?
In the long run, he said the only way that you can actually save Trump is to vote for me, because he's thinking that, I think he's trying to word it basically that getting him in office will exonerate Trump, will, move him forward the agenda. But like if Trump goes into the election, they're going to, no holds barred kind of shit. They're going to throw him in jail. They're going to do something. So ordering, for a vote for Vivek is going to be a vote to save Trump. And a lot of people are like, bullshit, bro.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. It's a weird way to kind of put it.
I don't know about that.
So Trump called him out, I think, on that just the other day. So I'm not real convinced that Vivek is even a VP kind of candidate, honestly. Maybe a cabinet.
I mean, I honestly, when you listen to him talk, he sounds like a politician. Like, well, hi there, David and Christopher. Yeah. How are you guys doing today? I really do want to tell you what is wrong with this country, and there's so many things to talk about. Where do you want to begin?
Well, he's a smart human.
I don't know if he's like an old Englishman.
Yeah, but
he is very much like an old Englishman.
I mean, he's very well spoken.
Englishman,
he's fast talking, clear, well spoken. He's very smart, and so like you know this. Like sometimes those nerdy smart kids are just they sound like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to hold too much weight on it, but you're right. I mean, he sounds more of a politician, and he always tries to do that. Remember I showed you that clip, Chris, where he said the F where he's like, man, fuck that guy. And I was like,
it sounded
forced. Weird and forced. And
like he doesn't normally, like he did that just to kind of, rebel some stuff.
Exactly.
It just wasn't.
Even
natural.
Danielson in the chat saying Vivek is not VP material.
No, I don't think so. I think I would like to see them work out differences and get him in a cabinet position or get some situation for him. just so that he gets into something more advanced, and then maybe he goes from there, and we'll see what happens at that point. But I really, for the most part, I'd like to see most of them get put into a cabinet position of some sort, except for Nikki Haley. I don't really want her touching anything. That's kind of my take on it. I think she's
so
just like
why though? Why?
I just don't, like from what I understand and from, the things, I just think she's very untruthful. I think she lies. And I think they all lie to an extent. She's lied on some pretty big topics, even when it comes to like the social money coming in, like about moving it up in age, and she denied it. And there's a video of her, the war stuff. I mean, she's always seems like she's more than happy to go to war. And I just think at this point in time, most people that are supporting Trump really like the fact that he didn't start a bunch of wars, right? So I just feel like she's more of the same. And, Vivek has also talked about, the kind of like Democrat, like kind of pusher. And I don't know if it's true, but I feel like it could be true. You know what I mean? Like there's something about her that I feel like the Democrats would want to prop her up for some reason. Like she would be more than happy to work with both parties. I think they'd be happy with that as well. So I don't, there's a gut feeling I have about her. I just don't feel good about her at all. I don't think she's genuine at all.
I don't have access to this article because it's New York Times and it's behind a paywall, but it says Trump promotes false birther conspiracy about Nikki Haley.
Oh boy.
This false and racist attempts to sow doubt about a political rival's eligibility for the nation's highest office. So,
yeah, I heard about this. It had something to do with her not being constitutionally able to hold office. Not that she wasn't, that her parents weren't citizens, or like her, like so one of her, like one of something like that, something along those lines.
But she's a citizen, so she should be able to hold office.
Here, I pulled up a CNN article about it.
The Constitution. I went and looked at it a little bit, but the Constitution says one has to be like a born legal citizen. One of your parents do. Either it's the mother or the father or something like that.
Maybe that is true.
Something along those lines. He was kind of hinting at something like that. I don't know anything about that, whether there's any truth to that or not. Who knows? I
would just say this. I don't know that that's a road that I would want to go down. Whether it's accurate or not. My point being is that if we couldn't even get Obama, if that didn't have any weight on his whole thing with the situation with the birth certificate.
Well, nobody looked.
Well, Trump led the movement on that, right? He was all like, "Hey, he wasn't even born here."
I know, I understand that, but I'm saying what happened with it, right? And like I feel like his was pretty obvious. So like I just don't like you could put too much effort into this and not get any reward out of it. I just don't know if that's the right move to make on this right now. Like she's gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I feel. Like there's no point in wasting effort and resources and money on trying to prove that she's not, or like has a birth certificate or not, or can be in or not. Because I just think people are going to call you a racist. They're going to say, oh, this is because she's a female. It's because she's a woman of color. If she is, I don't even know what her heritage is, but I just don't know if that's worth the time. I really don't. I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah. It makes Haley the victim, turns her into like the sympathy card, turns her up. It says that he promoted a quote false claim that Haley is not constitutionally eligible to be president because her parents were not U.S. citizens when she was born in South Carolina. And the quote far right news agency Gateway Pundit reported on this.
Maybe, I just don't know if that's the angle to. I think she has so many things that you can attack her on that are so easy.
I mean, still, but if it's true and she's not legally able to hold office, then that needs to be brought up.
Yeah, it's just not going to go anywhere.
That's how I feel.
Danielson says Nikki Hillary.
Huh?
Nikki Hillary.
Oh,
she's a warmonger.
What do you mean it wouldn't go anywhere? If it was proven someone isn't constitutionally able to hold office.
Yeah, I understand that. It doesn't matter.
I don't know if it's provable though, right? It's kind of a fine line.
You can. What I'm saying is you could probably get it figured out, but how many things happen that are supposed to not happen that do happen, and they don't get stopped. And so my point ultimately comes down to like, you could put a lot of effort into trying to prove that, but you're going to like dig yourself a hole. You're going to get buried in like that thing when in reality is that she really doesn't stand much of a chance. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And she's already everybody's attacking her. Her sides are showing. There's almost no like, if you want to be petty and go for it, I get it. But like at the same time, like she's already dug herself out of this race. Or dug herself in a hole to not be in this race, I guess the right way to say it. And so what's the point of going after the petty stuff? I'm not saying it's not petty. If it's illegal, it's illegal. I agree with you. Yeah. But how long is that going to take, dude? Years?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at what point do you just go, there's better wars to be had right here? with her.
Peaches in the chat said Vivek would be a good press secretary.
Yeah,
That
I
guy
agree,
can talk.
dude.
I
Hell
agree.
yeah.
He can
Put him
talk.
out in front of everybody, be like, shut the fuck up, sit down.
Process.
Well, he wouldn't do that.
He
He'd
would
be
be
like, "Please
good
sit down, please."
because he's so quick. He would be very good at that.
And he's
because
intelligent,
He
yes.
would be able to be like, yes, I know the answer to this question.
He knows his data.
Well, he's very quick and he doesn't mess up. Like when
Yeah.
he talks, like he doesn't really stutter. He doesn't, mispronounce things. He's very, very clean.
Yeah. I don't disagree, but why would you not bring back, like, I know she has a family now, but that Kayleigh McEnany or whatever.
Oh, she was good.
Well, there
I
was
actually
that
like-
beef. Trump had beef with her.
Yeah,
Remember? I
Not
don't
really.
remember what it was about.
I don't really
but,
remember
like,
beef with her so much, but
I would bring back Huckabee. She was good too.
yeah, but she wanted out of that shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What if
Plus,
she was ended up being like a VP pick?
We talked about that.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you know that like that phrase, like the Val Kilmer tombstone. I'll be your Huckleberry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You could just be like, she's my Hucklebee. You
She's
know?
my Huckabee.
Yeah.
She's my Hucklebee.
She's an interesting
Okay,
cat.
that was dumb.
I think, yeah, it's okay. I think she's interesting. We talked to, I think it was just me and Chris, or was it Greg too, but about her being a possible VP candidate. And
She's probably not.
probably
He
not,
already said
but-
he already actually came out and said he had one picked already.
Yeah, I just don't know who the heck that would be. I don't think it's any of the people that you think it's going to be.
Probably not.
Which is why I thought Huckabee, to be honest with you, initially, because he's always said good things about her. She's very like
There's
stoic.
a lot of people online saying it's
thick-skinned.
General Flynn.
I don't know.
Dude, no. That's
That's such a
that's
weird.
not happening.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah, there's a
saying
lot
that.
of.
I think
there's
it's
a lot of goofy
JFK.
people.
JFK Jr.'s coming back.
Yeah, man.
He's going to be the fucking VP, bro.
Well,
You
a lot of
watch.
people are using him because Trump said the reference at one of his rallies that if asked him if he was ready to serve again and to stay healthy.
To serve could mean a lot of things.
It could.
I just think that'd be a very bad decision.
It would be.
Why?
Because I listen, I have nothing against Flynn. I have nothing against like what he's done for the country. None of that. But I feel like if you go there, you're putting yourself in a rabbit hole that I just think they're going to use that as ammunition. Flynn's been like very controversial as far as like some of the stuff he said, not disagreeing with it, by the way, but I'm just saying like he is definitely by a lot of people considered to be a very fringy, conspiratorial minded person. I really don't think that works well for people that
Well,
don't
not only
give a shit
that,
about
but he's
that.
like, he's pulled the rug underneath the whole Q people, right? He's like, this whole trust the plan, there is no plan. No one's coming to save you. Like, what are you talking about? Even though I like stood there on 4th of July with my family and I repeated all these Q phrases and I did the whole thing and I walked you guys down the red aisle, he totally endorsed the movement and he was subtly putting out these clues where people are like, oh, look what he's doing, dude. He's on the freaking plan. He's doing it. So I don't know.
I have nothing against
feel
it.
I feel like he's all about making money right now with that whole like the Clay Clark stuff.
Sure.
Maybe.
But to also be fair, like there's nothing wrong with him supporting something and then realizing that maybe that wasn't accurate or the right decision and reversing his decision on it. We've talked about it. We've at some point, and between the three of us, have had certain levels of belief behind the Q movement, right? At some point in history. And that doesn't mean that it's still the same. I would say that I've completely fallen off that train as a whole. Not speaking for you guys, but I'm just saying like it's not that uncommon to have somebody change their opinion drastically on something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's been enough time now to go, what's real? Because I still hear it. I mean, Trump was wearing his white hat the other day.
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the caucus. And everybody's like, there it is, bro. It's the white hat movement. Here it is. And I'm like, dude. I'm just like, okay, I can see it. If you're thinking about it in the back of your mind and you see that, I can see why your brain would kind of start ticking a little bit. But, it's like, is it red or die? I mean, is it red hat or die on this? Like, is it like Trump can only wear red going forward because any other thing is going to mean something else? You know what I mean?
Well, and he always wears his white hat when he's golfing and all that
does.
shit. But I mean, when he does play that music, that Q music, I'm like, dude, what the hell is he doing? Like, Trump knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's boosting up that voter base because he knows those people are going to vote for him.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I agree with you 100%.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah,
You have to.
I know.
Like, I don't know. I just feel like if Trump really believed it, and I definitely don't want to get in that topic. But, there it is, baby. Wow. Yep.
Do you feel the force?
Oh, God.
I have my lightsaber, everybody listening on audio.
I know. I got the
Danielson
same
asks,
one.
is this a bong behind me? And I'm like, hell no, bro.
Well, I mean, you could
drugs up in
you
here.
could make that a
I don't know if that's what he was talking about. It looks like your above on your shelf there kind of looks like a bong, honestly. Carnage.
Wait, which one?
The carnage, and then you have the thing hanging on the wall, your sword that looks like a bong unit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the high rule
looks
sword.
like an old bubbler down there.
Dude, I forgot to show you guys this. Too.
Oh yeah, yes. Ross had that for like $40, dude.
This?
Yeah.
Warhammer?
Yeah,
I
dude.
forget how to turn this thing on. Maybe you just.
There's a button on there.
Oh my dear Lord.
Almighty. The almighty Thor.
Okay, let's shut that up.
I mean,
I love that you're getting a little nerdy on me, dude. I actually I have mass respect for you, man. I know it's not much, but you got a Mandalorian down there.
but why can't they put like really good sound to those things?
Those things actually sound really good in person.
This
Do
actually,
they?
yes, in real person.
Yeah.
In real person. In person, it actually does sound pretty
they
good,
sound really
like
good, man.
decent.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's very loud.
It's just like it's through the mic, and we have the gates. And shit
Yeah, I
on
know,
it.
but I mean, like,
Those actually sound pretty. They don't make them insanely loud. Just I think for being obnoxious mostly, but they sound really good. That actually sounds really decent in person. So yeah, those are like the, one notch up on like just like the crap you buy at the store. You know what I mean? It's like a little bit nicer of a. Yeah. Anyways, cool. Yeah, glad you're a nerd now, dude. It makes me happy. Makes my inner kid happy. I know you have that inner kid in you, man.
we're all nerdy about something.
You have to be a little bit nerdy about
Hell
something.
yeah.
So Caucus, that's cool, man. Go figure, he got it. Not shocking, dude. I don't really think it changes. Well, I guess to end it for me would be, where do you think, at what point do you see some more people dropping off? That would be the big one, right? Like when?
Yeah, because who just dropped off? Chris Christie?
Yeah,
he did a while back.
did.
He was on a hot mic though. He said Nikki Haley doesn't. He's like, she doesn't stand a chance.
Yeah,
Dude.
I see DeSantis dropping out here soon. I bet right after this caucus is over, I bet he drops out because he has already mentioned 2 people in his circle. That this was said by, I don't even know who.
Someone.
That he was, if he's doesn't even stand a chance after this caucus, that he's going to drop and then endorse Trump.
Oh yeah, because if they lose too, so how many caucuses are there right now?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean,
I know this is the one that everyone pays attention to. Is
This Tuesday
this Iowa one that's happening right now.
So there's not like a Super Tuesday or anything like that?
No, there is. I don't know.
I don't know when that is. I don't know.
But like they use the Iowa caucus to take those numbers and statistics and put them forward to like project who's gonna be the front runner in the presidential election, not just the primaries.
Well, I mean, there's more people besides them, right? Chris Christie just dropped out, but the Asa Hutchinson,
oh yeah,
he's still in. Ryan Binkley, he got fucking 24 votes total. I mean, 0.6%. Like, come on, bro. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know that I agree that DeSantis will be quick to drop out yet. I actually could see Nikki Haley going first if out of the 2, because I feel like she's getting just bombarded right now with just hate, dude. And you have to look at if Vivek decides to drop out and Nikki Haley drops out, how do those votes that they tallied up?
Yeah, this is where it is right now.
Yeah, so how do those votes, if Nikki and Vivek dropped out right now, where would they go? Because I would argue that if you're voting for Nikki Haley, you probably hate Trump. In DeSantis, not so much. I think DeSantis, maybe people love Trump, but they want something new. That's how I kind of look at like a DeSantis.
Well, I don't see it as if you're voting for Nikki Haley, you hate Trump.
No, I would see it like this, dude. Haley votes go to DeSantis. Vivek's votes go to Trump.
Probably. But if Nikki
That's
Haley's
how
votes
But what happens if after this DeSantis drops out?
Then I think
Well,
a lot of his
those votes go to Biden.
Yeah, I think a lot of DeSantis votes go to Trump or Vivek. And then the rest would probably go to Nikki Haley. You know what I'm saying? But I think quite a few. Like I said, Nikki Haley to me is so like government first, like that kind of a vibe to me, that I feel like that's why I kind of said, if you vote for her, you really are like into the establishment. And so I don't really see those people being like, yeah, I'll just go back to Trump. Like, I feel like if you really are putting a vote for her, you really want the old way back. You know what I'm saying? Like the old system back. And I don't know, man. I think DeSantis has got too much pride to drop this soon. That's my take.
And are they using DeSantis as like this political pawn to see like who's against Trump? You know what I mean? Like just to like sway the boat a little bit. Because honestly, he stands no chance, right? So he's kind of there to be like a let's part the seas and let's see who's on what side.
Sure. I mean, yeah, I don't know if that's a bad way to put it. I also look at like he did have a really strong showing. You know what I'm saying? Like when he first ran, he had a lot of hype. He had good numbers. Trump was I would argue, was at his lowest point, right? So he's running, he's feeling confident. Obviously, the indictments come through. Trump gets a huge boost. He comes way down.
Yeah.
I would just say that, like, I think he wants to be president. I don't think he wants to drop out. And I think maybe his game is, let's see what happens, because if something happens to Trump that will sway people heavily, you know, what if something comes out where he is guilty of something, right? Or
October surprise.
Yeah, I'm just hypothetical. What if something came out where they actually found him guilty for something? Like, why
Dude,
would
I guarantee the October surprise this time, Trump gets arrested.
maybe?
They arrest his ass. Be like, oh, sorry.
I don't know.
Even if it's for a day, they'll be like, oh, well, maybe
that's
we're
not
not
good enough,
arrest.
though. One day? I mean, listen, if he gets arrested for a day, then lock up the fucking election. It's game over. You know what I'm saying?
Like you said, remember, like he said, like he could shoot somebody and leave him dead in the streets and they'd still vote for him. You know?
Yeah, I mean, locking him up or arresting him at this point just proves to give him more votes. That'd be dumb.
Well, yeah.
If they actually,
I have a feeling they will try, in hopes that that will finally hurt him.
I think
that he won't be able to be on the ballot or something.
I think the trial that we're seeing is what they're hoping for, right? If something comes through where he's found guilty, you know what I'm saying? In some way or another.
If he was to get arrested or anything, it's gonna be this one that's going on in New York right now, because they're not allowing him to do closing arguments. They're like, it's obviously they're out to get him in this court thing.
Yeah.
So if they're gonna get him on anything, they're gonna get him here. Because the election one, or the January 6th one, doesn't even start till March.
Yeah. I just think that's why DeSantis would say, because like there's always that little bit of a sliver that Trump could have a hiccup. We've seen Trump say stupid shit and have it affect the polls a little bit here and there, not major drops, but maybe he's just hoping, hey, maybe Trump slips up and then I get those votes in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just don't see him dropping out. He already has so much money invested.
There is a large possibility that Trump does not become president, right?
Large?
Because, well, you never know, dude. You never know. Like, I thought it was a grand slam in 2020. We all did. We were like hyped up watching it live. And then we're going, wait a second, this isn't turning out the way we thought it was going to be.
No, I hear you. I just don't know if that was like us kind of with the rosy glasses on, you know, like I told you guys a long time ago, I said, sometimes when you focus so much on one thing, you're letting other shit slip. We're not addressing the issues of why we lost the election, right? I said that about voter fraud. I'm not saying there isn't any. I'm not saying that there wasn't some shenanigans going on. I guarantee there were. But sometimes when all of your focus over the past 4 years have been towards voter fraud, you're neglecting all the other things. And those other things would be, are you getting to young people? Are you getting young people to vote for you? Are you kind of like putting a message out there that, hey, we're not the old conservative party of your great grandparents. You know what I mean? We actually are hip. Yeah. We have young people that.
Well, and that's why I think this year that all that game has actually stepped up, even like more so than it needed to be last time.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like the younger crowd they're finally seeing like, whoa, this is all fucked up. And then like the black vote is like skyrocketing for him right now. Like he's getting all the demographics that he wasn't getting before in this round.
Have you guys noticed also that like the big supporters of Trump at like the news agencies, like the big news, just like Fox, Tucker Carlson, soon to be Sean Hannity, because I heard that he's going to be moving, right? He's moving to Texas or something. So I don't know if he's going to be on Fox anymore. I don't know where that's going to. But all of these people that supported Trump have kind of left to do their own thing. They're not really part of these large groups like these news corporations. Yeah. And where are they going? They're going to social media. So like Tucker Carlson
doing their own shows,
is like the number one conservative rated show on Twitter or X.
On everything.
Where you get a lot more younger views.
Yeah, I don't know if the young views are like blowing out the roof, but I definitely think that like you go to universities, there's a lot more kids that are much more open-minded about the idea now than there has been in a good amount of time, whether that's a decade or something. It's the same thing with the black vote, for example. Like, Trump is not going to get probably 50% of the black vote. Well, hold on, maybe. I'm just saying, like, historically,
he's getting up there. I think the last percentage or poll that I seen, he was at like mid 40s.
I'll wait to see how those actually come through. Listen, I've seen a lot of that stuff, and I agree that it's definitely up. And I think a lot of people open their eyes. I hope it does. I really hope it's 60. But what I'm saying is like when you see those numbers historically where there's like what 30%.
Yeah.
Right.
If that.
The thing is if you get 5 or 10% of the black vote, that's a huge bump for you.
Oh yeah.
And like that might be enough to push you. So like what I'm saying is I love 50%, but it doesn't have to be that. It just has to be better than it was. And he actually had a historic black turnout for him in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So if we could see that and some, it's a very positive thing. If we can see those 18 to 24s with like a 10% increase or 15, those are big numbers you're talking about.
Well, I think Trump's like biggest deficit was white women.
Yes, suburban white women.
So if he can do something to turn them around, but like the whole grab him by the pussy and being like this player, I don't know what it's going to take to turn that around.
I think that's kind of old news. I don't think that's going to have any effect on anything anymore.
Well, the one thing I think that's positive for that effect is, listen, everybody knows Trump, and I think they've kind of cooled down to the whole thing at this point, the grab by the pussy thing. I think that's like Chris said, I think it's old. I think most people are kind of like over it, to some extent. I think where you're going to see some positive for the suburban white mom, is grocery prices, taxes, stuff that's their schools that are affecting their children. Yep. I do think there's been enough things that happen over the past 4 years, especially with Biden's economy, that I wouldn't be shocked to see that even tick towards Trump a little bit, because you have to, as a parent, you're always looking out for your kids. And so if you're, especially single moms, holy shit, imagine what they're going through right now, dude. So yeah, I mean, listen, I think there's a chance for very positive numbers across the board, but it all comes down to how are you going to turn up or not? Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, are you going to come out and vote or not? And who's going to come out and vote for Biden? I would think no one. I don't even know how somebody could be like, get up in the morning, get dressed, and be like, I am so excited to go vote for Joe Biden.
I know who will vote for him.
Who?
People who are making money off of him.
Oh yeah, them.
Like people who are like forgiven for their school debts.
God. I don't know, dude. I think it might
live in their apartment rent free.
I think it might be getting to the point where they just take the money, and then once they get there, vote for somebody else.
Well, then they would lose it.
Why?
Because they would lose it. Like that was the old argument. He's kind of referring to the old welfare argument. Why would you if you have a certain party that's giving you all this money for welfare, letting you be on welfare as long as you want to be, right? Why would you vote against that? Because eventually that could go away. And I think that's what Greg's trying to say.
That's the illegal immigration argument.
But it's the same thing.
They're letting you stay in this country as long as you vote for them. I mean, that's just a theory. It's not true. It's not, proven, but I'm just saying that's what people are saying.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, has those benefits that are available to people gone up at all? Or if they stay the same?
No, I think I believe that they can go up.
But have they gone up?
I have no idea.
In the recent years.
I have not. I know nobody that's on.
Because if they haven't, then they're right in the same fucking boat as everybody else, saying, I'm on this stuff to help me out because I'm struggling. And now everything fucking costs so fucking much. See, it's not helping me out anymore.
Yeah, I actually disagree with you. I know that there's a lot of people that need welfare and use welfare for the good of welfare. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of people that
take advantage of it for sure.
Yeah. They don't like, the bottom line is they don't really care how much they make. Like, as long as they have enough to feed and do all the fun stuff they want to do, because they don't work. That's all they care about. Is they just don't want to work, dude. They are bums. And at least I know some people dog me for that, but I know people that are like that.
But is it getting to a point where you may have this welfare stuff, but is it now getting to the point where everything's so much more expensive that now you're like, I need to have this, but now I also have to go get a fucking job?
Well, I mean, maybe, but the trade-off is if you are cool with just getting a check and not doing anything, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I haven't heard that welfare is not keeping up with inflation. That's the argument, is that
he's asking
welfare does not
I don't
account
know
for inflation.
And I haven't heard anything either. Like if the welfare has gone up,
I don't know.
I doubt it.
I don't know. I'm not sure. They piss a lot of money away, so it wouldn't shock me You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't shock me. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's, we'll see. The one thing I'm worried about is Trump talking about that mass deportation. I know you just brought it up, Greg, deportation.
Yeah.
I'm worried that if you say that too soon, like they're going to use that as ammunition. Like, hey, if Trump gets in, he's going to deport all you people, everybody.
Yeah,
and you got these white liberals who are going to be like, we can't have him do that. You know,
but those people weren't going to vote for him in the first place.
No, but it's not a matter of like, see, the problem is it's not necessarily, Chris, just getting people to vote for him or not vote for him. It's about getting them to go to the polling station. And so if they are lazy and there's not much of a motivation, then a lot of people just don't show up. You know what I'm saying? But if you motivate them and say that, listen, if he is this is what he's going to do. And they actually get angry, because we know liberals get real angry about shit, and they want to get up and vote. Then you get those numbers again. And that's what we have. It's about turnout. That's all it comes down to, is how many people are going to turn out for Trump versus turn out for the Democrat. I'm not even going to say Biden, for Democrat.
Well, and that's the most important thing. That's the whole, the importance of the October surprise is it's super easy to burn bridges. Mm-hmm. And so when you have all of this momentum and you're building this relationship with your voter base, and then something happens, and then the reality is pulled out from beneath them, and they go, whoa, I don't even know who this person is anymore. I don't even want to fucking vote. Yeah. And that's the whole purpose of the October surprise, is either you have them vote for the opposite party, or you just have them not vote.
Whitney in the chat says, having deja vu so bad with what Dave was saying now.
I kind of was too. I was like, I feel like we've had this conversation. Oh yeah, we did. 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I want the enthusiasm to be there, and I don't want Trump. That's the one thing Trump can do. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but he does give people, because he doesn't have a filter. And so he says things, and sometimes those things can be
I don't think the deportation thing is going to do that. I think there's a lot of people on both sides that are getting to the point now, especially with them kicking kids out of school and letting the fucking illegals sleep in their fucking areas, because now the kids have to school from home again. Yeah. Taking up. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think that kind of shit and what people are having to deal with are now in support of, like, we need to do something. And the people that I am normally supporting aren't doing shit.
I hope.
Yeah, they're going to have stories of immigrant children and women getting kicked out of this country. Mm-hmm. And they're going to have them sobbing. They're going to have them dragging a suitcase, being like, we have to get out of this country. I don't know where I'm going to go. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be a sob story, whether it's made up or not. It's going to be just an emotional story. That's what Democrats are good at, and Republicans. Yeah, Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Like
I just think they're going to turn it into another case of, like, Trump being a dictator, right? Like, he hates a certain race of people, again, even though we know that's not true, right? Because if he's talking about mass deportation,
it's all different races. It's not just one.
I know, but we know that. But what I'm saying is the media is not going to paint it that picture. They've never talked about Russians coming in or Middle Easterns
Asians
coming in. They always talk about the Mexican people that are coming into the country. And so if all they have to do is paint that brush stroke, that's like, Trump wants to get rid of all the Mexicans, all of the Mexican immigrants. What a fucking dictator this guy. He hates fucking Mexicans, right? We told you before he hated them, and now he's proof that he actually does. And you're gonna get some riled up fucking dummies, and that's where I'm at. Like, I don't want to see an unnecessary, like, because he could have kept that to himself. He could have kept it to himself on that. He has a lot of good policy. There's things that are coming that I know Trump will do well. And day one, he could have just been like, oh, by the way, we got a massive deportation coming, dude.
Yeah, but at the same time, everyone is looking for someone that has some kind of plan to deal with this.
Exactly. I don't hate the move. I feel like it's definitely playing towards his voter base, and that's what he needs. So he needs to, like, clench the voter base. And they need to know action. I mean, like, all these politicians come out and they be like, I'm going to turn this around. He does that, like, with the whole, like, I would end this with 24 hours, this war with, how would you do that? I know them. They know me. We have these conversations. It's like, okay, that's vague. But when he says, like, when people ask him, what are you going to do for energy in this country? He's going to drill, baby, drill, Yeah. And then also, like, we need to fix the border. We need to get the people out.
Well, there's a difference in like showing his tactics on those things. If he says,
Yeah.
we're going to drill, baby, drill, he knows he can say that and that it'll work because he knows they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
But if
Exactly,
he gives out his tactic on negotiation to end something, then they would just be like, oh, okay, we'll do that. And then they can take the glory, and then his campaign on that end is done for.
Well, also,
you know
I feel
what?
like it's word choice. If you want my honest opinion, it really comes down to word choice. Like mass deportation sounds scary, quote unquote, like, to certain people. And so, like, having a plan.
The largest in American history.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're really
it would be.
It would be. I know, but here's my point. It's
You wouldn't be wrong.
He's not wrong. I'm just saying, like, maybe you could say it in a more, in a way that's not so, like, they can't use it as a headline. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that people understand that he will do something, but saying the largest in the history mass deportation, like, that's going to turn people off. Like, I'm not saying his party, but some people are going to get real scared about that. You know what I mean?
No,
they will.
I've seen that coming from a long ways away.
And think of people that are here, like, even like on a temporary visa, right? That are good citizens working really hard. Even those people might be like, well, how far is he going to go with this fucking thing? Like, even if they love Trump, like, are they concerned that, like, where's the line? Like, I'm just saying, like,
the line would be if you're here illegally.
Yeah, I understand that.
And my only thing, though, is like,
I understand that.
Will he follow through with this, and will he have the support to get people to follow through this? Like, is he going to use the military to do this? Because he would have to. Like, there's no other force that he could use to be like, as force of command, I signed this executive order, go do what you're told. Because there's still like generals and stuff that can say, hey, no, I disagree. We're not going to be doing that.
They're going to use it. They're going to use it against him 100%. Because you will.
It would depend on if him and states would actually end up declaring it as an invasion.
Yeah, sure. You know, I actually agree with you on that. But I think to what Greg said earlier, man, like, you're not going to see the videos of people dragging luggage.
No, they didn't have luggage when they came here.
I know. Well,
why would they have? They
some
just
of them
fucking
do.
leave
They're rolling out with suitcases, bro. It's weird. But
I think the teddy bear missing one eyeball. You know. Like,
no. Yeah. That would be bad if they had that. But what's going to be worse is when you have body cam footage of them busting down doors and ripping people out of homes and putting people in cars or vehicles and shipping them off. And everybody's like, where are they going? Who has control of them? Are they eating? Are they in a fucking cage? We're going to hear the cages come back, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
and all it
those
takes
are what's
is
going to be detrimental.
All it takes is a couple of, military men, police officers to get paid off to go do that shit, record it, give it to the news,
and off some people.
You know, and the Democrats have a story.
Yeah.
Or like the other side pays off some people to, like, somebody might accidentally, you know,
shoot somebody.
Yeah, be unalived in the process, and then it turns into an even bigger thing.
Listen, we just know that, like, when you handle this shit, you have to understand what your enemies are going to say, and I call them enemies because they don't like him. They want him to cease to exist. Let's be real. And so you have to walk a certain path, and you have to walk on eggshells, knowing that whatever you do is going to be used against you, right? So I just think that, like, when you do these kind of things and say these kind of things, you have to keep that in mind and maybe word stuff better. At least initially.
I think if
I know.
No, I think if he wins the election, no holds barred, bro. Do what you fucking have to do.
If he wins the election.
To get things.
Well, he even said he was going to be a dictator for one day.
Yeah. I'm with you. When he's elected. Absolutely. Yeah. But that's not what I'm saying.
But I think just him saying that
prior to
people
the
are going to be like deported, I don't think that's going
to. See, I don't even like that.
It would have hurt him already.
Well, again, it comes down. You see, that's all based off of polls. I'm just simply saying that, like, those things might be festering in people and get them out to vote. And if we don't turn out to vote and they do, game over. It's game over.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm trying to say is that, like, whatever motivates them to go out is what I don't want to happen. Right? We want them to be unmotivated.
The voter base that's least likely to vote is young people.
It is, which tend to be
that's
more
the
Democrat.
one thing going for Republicans at this point.
Yeah. I agree. Well, that was 45 minutes of.
It's all good,
dude. One thing I wanted to bring up was the David Grusch stuff. Have you?
No. So I was curious about this.
Yeah. So they had their like closed door meeting. I know that was a very hard shift. I apologize.
No, it's good.
They had their closed door meeting, and it was lawmakers investigating the UAPs or UFOs remain frustrated after closed door briefings with government watchdog. So it was on Friday. They said that they remain frustrated in the attempt to get more information about the explosive whistleblower claims. So we all know David Grusch. He's come out. He's made some claims. He actually claimed that there was there was like a downed. They actually been like investigating like a downed UFO, man. Like
he was on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah,
do you believe him?
Yeah.
Do I believe him?
Yeah.
Wow. Jinx.
I think.
Are you guys synced with your periods?
Yes.
I knew it.
The dick drips, bro.
I knew it, guys.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, we're so tight.
There are times where I'm like, okay, but you're almost being really cheesy about this.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I'm also like, is that just who he is?
Well, my thing comes down to what can you say in the public, sphere, and what can you say behind closed doors. And
there was a lot of stuff when he was on Rogan that he was like,
yeah, but he's not.
That's competition.
I can't.
I know. So the thing is
you need a what is it called? A sniff?
Oh, skiff.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is what
skiff.
this was, like a skiff here. So here's the deal. Like that's where like I'm not 100% on board. I'm not off board. I'm just going. Of course, what he says to Joe Rogan is going to be and same with what's his face. That was kind of stupid too. The Blink-182 guy. When he was on there and he was talking about it, he's like, I don't know if I can say that. Like,
exactly.
Oh,
Tom
yeah.
DeLonge,
so like
everything.
And, for him, whatever. But the bottom line is if he said, you're not allowed to speak about this in public, or he knows that he can't speak about it in public. I mean, it's going to sound weird when you're trying to talk around the things you can't talk about. That would be my argument. Like, it's always going to sound funny when you're trying to hide stuff and you're trying to word things around what you can and can't say.
Yeah.
I will say this. He had the closed, or I don't know if he was actually there. I'm not sure, but they had the information. They had this closed door classified thing.
Mm-hmm.
And people, were coming out and they were talking about it, and they had like these quick little briefings like, hey, and they were like, we can't discuss all this, but they seemed intrigued by it. That's what I'm going to say. I have like 4 clips from different people, and it's just like, if it was a bunch of nonsense, I just feel like it would be an easy laugh this off. But I felt like there was a couple where I was just like, wow, what did they hear that made them go like, oh boy, because I didn't feel like it was a blowover situation. That's where I'm at with it. I feel like if it was fake and they knew it was fake and it was a bunch of nonsense, they would have come out laughing like, yeah, listen, hey, he's got claims, but we don't know what's that,
this kind of reminds me. Remember when this was what, 3 or 4 years ago when they had a closed door briefing, like all of the senators or whatever, like they had a briefing about alien intelligence or something out there. And that one guy came out and he says, lock your doors tonight.
Remember yeah, I do remember that.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
What the hell? He's like, lock your doors and stay safe tonight, everybody.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Well, listen, here's the problem. We don't know what the fuck is being said.
That's true.
We don't know what's being said. We don't know. And like all these years, Bob Lazar, he's got made fun of. He's got, criticized. Listen, and Joe Rogan said it, too, which take him for what it is, right? But he's like, man, after all these decades, that guy is saying the same thing, and more shit that he said years and decades ago are starting to come out as like, oh, we've been doing that, actually. We've been doing that, actually. Yeah. And it's like, at what point do you have to just stop for a second and say, I don't know what it is, but something's happening, right? Like, if you don't believe in aliens, you believe in demons, maybe it is demons. Like, there's people that are saying, hey, these aren't aliens. These are actually fucking like angels and demons and shit. This is an actual, who knows what it is, but something is going on. Like, there's just information about something happening.
There is something.
So let's play these videos real quick. If you can start at the bottom. The first one I saw, the very bottom one. This one? Yeah, they said this guy tried dodging a question, and it says that his world looks like it's been rocked. I don't know if I agree with that whole like over the top, but listen to what he has to say.
Because of the question? Because of the hearing? He
came out of the hearing. And this is the first interview. He walked out and they interviewed him.
Okay.
So I'm just reading his body language, read what he says. There's really not that much info, but let's hear what he has to say.
One member used the term that they were exploring here were phrased interdimensional beings.
Ooh, called it.
Something that we're dealing with.
Interdimensional.
I mean, I think it's easy to be disappointed when you don't get all the information that you want, which I understand. I would have loved to receive much more information, but I think that it's reasonable to say that everyone that was in the room received probably new information. I certainly did, and I think it's interesting additional information to continue the investigation and ask more questions. So definitely have more questions than less questions.
Does that term mean anything to you?
I'm not going to get into any terms. I just think that it's more important to focus on that this is a serious topic and it deserves serious attention. And I actually encourage also members of the media to continue covering this topic. I think that's really important. It is not a fringe topic. It is a serious national security topic.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so first of all,
the conspiracy theorists were right.
Dude, every time, Chris, man, your cursor is on his nose. Every single time. Like, you have it dialed
they can't see it on their screen.
Okay.
Yeah, get the cursor off.
So
I couldn't see it.
Listen, that's one quick one. He basically is saying he's not going to discuss the whole interdimensional thing, which that was the question posed. But he did say that what he can say is that this is a serious national security
and not
issue,
a fringe
and
topic.
we need to take it seriously, and it's not fringe. Interesting. I thought it was interesting.
Who is this guy?
I don't even know who this guy is.
I think the whole body language thing is just like this guy probably doesn't normally do questions or interviews like this.
Well,
because I've never seen this guy before.
I would say that
Me neither.
I would say
So-
I would say when I see his body language, I feel like it's more the same that I was talking about with David Grusch and those guys. When you're not allowed to say things, your head's thinking about how to go
you're
around.
you're
without-
navigating at the
Yes.
same time. You're
So
trying
like
to
I feel like
answer a question.
his brain's navigating how to talk about something that somebody's asking without saying too much. That's what I feel. So go to the next video. They're quick. These are all. In fact, I think that might have been the longest one. The second guy, he's an interesting
This
one.
one
So
here.
this is Rep. Jared Moskowitz. Moskowitz. Yeah, from
Florida.
Maskowitz?
Moskowitz. There you go. Democrat, Florida.
Moscow. It's
Moscow tits.
Oh,
Moscow.
shit, that's a secret code.
Moscow.
This guy's a
tits.
Russian
Moscow tits, bro.
agent.
We got that Moscow tits plan. We got to get going here. Listen to this
Jason
guy.
Moscow tits.
He's a little bit of an uppy little bitch, though. I'll say that. But this is
Jeremiah.
actually a minute 31. But listen to what he says at the end. I think his is interesting as well.
Oh, boy. Oh, man, he's got to set his coffee down. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
He's jacked. Look at his eyes.
Well,
Hold on.
obviously, look, the process is extremely frustrating, but actually, this is the first real briefing that we've had that we've now made, I would say, progress on.
Ooh.
Some of the claims Mr. Grusch has made in his complaint, and some of the claims he provided to Congress. This is the first time we kind of got a ruling on what the IG thinks of those claims. And so, so this meeting, unlike the one we had previously when we did this briefing, this one actually moved the needle.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I think this one's going to lead to a lot of. There's a lot of new questions, a lot of new areas to ask.
The end
based
right
on
here is
what we got
interesting
in
what he
this
says.
meeting. Well, right. So let me just give you a hypothetical. I'm not going to share any classified briefing, but if someone makes 10 claims and then someone says, "Well, we didn't look into all 10 because they weren't all in the report, but hey, we found these 6 very credible based on it," well, then you would want to go attack them. All right.
So he's kind of saying that hypothetical, that like 6 out of the 10 have
At
credible
least
sources.
60% of what he says.
And so we want to go forward with those things that are, because he said that they've made headway. I mean, I'm using different words, but they've made
this
some
one's
headway.
moved the needle.
They moved the needle. This one was the first one that they've gained ground on. I think that's rather interesting. So thoughts on that one?
Maybe the October surprise will be aliens to distract everybody from the election. Be like, whoa!
I don't know if
I feel like this is the year, bro.
I don't know if that would distract people from an election. I think at that point, everyone is going to go. They're going to go this way. They're going to go aliens,
Yeah.
and then they're going to go. Which one of you two have the best idea for this?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Who's gonna protect us from the aliens?
Or the Democrats say like, I'd rather have aliens than Trump. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fucking, I'll take
vote
the
for the green
intergalactic.
We can live with
creatures.
these. We can kick out all the aliens, all the illegal aliens, and we can put these aliens in the hotel.
So it's like you're saying that they'll only eat 50% of humans. I'm all on board. I'd rather have that than Trump. Let's go to the next. I got 2 more quick ones. That was longer actually than I thought it was, but these ones I don't believe are as long. This guy, I don't really remember what he says, but Rep Andy. That's what they call Rep Andy. Andy,
Old Andy.
Representative Andy. This guy.
Rep
Come on,
Andy.
Andy.
claims
Credible.
Tell me
information.
about the aliens.
Credible for sure.
Let's see what he says.
There's a concerted effort to
conceal as much information as possible, both from Congress and to the general public. So I asked very specific questions and was unable to get specific answers. And so that's a problem, and we're not going to stop until we get the truth.
Okay, so his is more about that it seems that Congress is still trying to hide information from the public and from these hearings that they know more than
Congress is.
Well, he said, did he not? I think.
Yeah, that's what it says. Representative UFO briefing today, concealed info from Congress.
Yeah.
Okay.
Congress receives classified UFO brief, or I don't know.
I feel like
there's information that is there, but they're not being told what that is.
They're not sharing it in these hearings. All of it that he wants. So last one is a gal that we do know. It's what's her name again? I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
Oh, fucking
Luna
Luna.
Whatever.
Oh, Lena.
I think that's who it is,
Yeah.
right? So this one really is about. This one's rather quick, but it's her word choice. Again, is about the aliens, about the actual aliens. So here's what she says here.
I think it's incredibly important to listen to the specific words that Grusch uses. Grusch never said extraterrestrial or alien. He said interdimensional. It has become apparent that there is a movement, whether it's within the intelligence community or not, to prevent us from finding out more information on this.
Luna would not expand when asked what interdimensional meant. Well,
if you don't know what interdimensional means, you're a fucking idiot.
Well, I mean, it's
she would not expand
weird.
on what interdimensional means.
It's kind of weird to think about. Like, what do you mean interdimensional?
What dimension? What? I mean, there are questions.
Any dimension.
I know, but like,
it's hard to concept that. To grasp what a dimension is.
Anyone who's ever watched a movie knows how interdimensions work.
I understand that, but I think the question is not so much like what does interdimension mean, but like how do we know that they're interdimensional? What dimension are they coming from? Like how do we know this information, right? Like you say it, but how do we actually know that what you're saying, they're not just aliens, right? Like that.
Well,
I think that's what she's saying.
Yeah, I think the clear evidence and proof comes from the Miami aliens. Those things, that was a very true story. And there were several eyewitnesses that came out subsequently, one after another, stating that they saw something go into existence and then out, in, then out. Yeah. You know what I mean? 100% believable. I think that these people will be testifying in front of this congressional hearing as well.
Yeah. I actually honestly did not hear a lot of what you said. I was reading something and I just got like they're gonna have
the Miami aliens are 100% real.
I don't know about that.
And
they're going to be testifying.
The aliens are going to be testifing.
Yes.
Well,
yeah, the aliens will come in interdimensionally.
They're gonna show up on the Congress floor and just go.
I think they already testified. I think they've been testifying for years in skin suits. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? They're already here.
Could have been.
Half the people in Congress and government are probably aliens.
What are your actual thoughts on them saying interdimensional beings instead of aliens?
Nothing really. I mean,
that kind of narrows it down on what this actually is. It's not something from outer space or like otherworldly. It's here, but it's passing through different.
Is that what it means?
That's what that means to me.
That's what I'm saying.
The whole problem with the term interdimensional can be subjective. Like, yeah, we've seen movies where it's like we inhabit the same physical volume and we have different states of like.
It'd be like
I
the
can
different.
see you, I can smell you. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Man. I just think that like I don't know. I don't know what to think of the whole thing. That is something that David Grusch has said before. He always says interdimensional beings, right? Like or like interdimensional things. He never says alien or extraterrestrial, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the arguments about aliens is like, how in the world do they possibly get here? Because the nearest
you'd see them. Well, that's the argument, right?
You'd see them coming. But like, what kind of technology do you have to have in order to get 1 million light years away? You know what I'm saying? To here in a short period of time back again, right? From the nearest civilization. That's the big argument.
And why do you have to see them? Because if you can't see them physically here and you can't see their spaceships, like if they have a cloaking, whatever, you wouldn't be able to see them arrive.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But maybe the thing isn't, maybe the capability of traveling light years isn't a thing. and the only traveling is interdimensionally, and you're just doing like, this is the planet. It's impossible to travel light years without fucking dying on the way. Mm-hmm. So you're just now, we figured out that everything is a different vibration, everything is a different space, mm-hmm. and we figured out how to move into that other space.
Well, that's the whole is this going into the flat Earth firmament movement then? So
no,
the world is like a firmament of different dimensions. I don't know.
I mean, I definitely don't think of flat Earth when we have that discussion, but maybe
it would be more like an infinite.
There you go. Yeah, infinite Earth.
I mean, it's like
because the scientists have said, right? Like it'd be like they're saying it could be infinite dimensions.
Could, sure, absolutely.
So, infinite Earth is a new thing.
I mean, what if when you're like, we are the universe, everything's one, everything's a singular, right? Like if the Earth is just the universe in itself, right? There's just layers behind it. Like you can achieve and get to the same place right here, right now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what if like space is real and it's vast, completely empty, but Earth is the only inhabitable planet ever. So everything has to exist here somehow. So they said, okay, well, there's too much of you, so we're going to have to split you up into different dimensions so that way you can all coexist.
So all the other galaxies and stuff we see with telescopes are all the failed experiments from aliens with trying to create the one we actually live on.
And that's why they want to depopulate us so that way they can make more room for extra interdimensional beings. I have no idea if that's true or not.
You wouldn't need more room because it's infinite Earth.
How many layers?
Yeah, it's like an onion. Like, yeah, exactly. How many layers are there to this onion?
I mean, it wouldn't shock me if there's, if you really want to talk about interdimensional. I mean, like ghosts. You know what I'm saying? Like, are they on another dimension that they're existing after death, and we can we get glimpses of that, like kind of that crossover. Where you're seeing
they're the aliens. Ghosts are the aliens.
And aliens, like, what if they're just zipping around and they're like, oh fuck, we took a wrong turn. We're in the fucking wrong dimension, baby. Like, and they just zip right out of here. That's what a fucking alien is, bro. That's a UFO that we see. It's just it fucking went to the wrong intersection, dude. It took a left when it was supposed to take a right. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? But I am saying, like, listen, when you look at those videos, this is where I'll end it for me. You look at those videos, like, it's just interesting that they aren't just completely bypassing this as some nonsense. They seem interested in finding out what's going on. They seem like new information is being said in closed doors that we have not heard yet. And I would love to be a fly on that wall. I just would love to know exactly what they're talking about and what information do they have and what crashes have happened that they actually, and why is government still, they know this is coming. Like, why not? When are we going to just let it go? You know what I'm saying? Like, what point do you just let it go?
Because he never let a good crisis go to waste.
I understand that.
I feel like that's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for a crisis to happen and blame it on aliens or to use something. I
don't see how that affects anything. I feel like if they were to come out and say, like, give them everything, right? Just hypothetically, they say floodgates are open. You guys get all the information. Here it all is, right? This is how many UFO crashes we've had. These are how many aliens that we know exist, and all that information comes in. We know it. That doesn't mean that they still can't have an invasion. In fact, that would probably improve the invasion because if you had a fake invasion, which I saw some comments in those videos, like, oh, this is just for a future fake. Okay, if you had the information hidden and then there was a fake invasion, a lot of people would just say, like, this is nonsense, stupid. Like, this isn't even real. This is fake, right? But if you gave out all this information saying it is real and then there was an invasion, people would be more terrified because they know. Sure. So, like, why would hiding it?
It doesn't have to be fake, though. But I'm saying, like, they would use the event to do something. Like, they wouldn't let a crisis go to waste. So they would use the crisis to create something to give more power to government.
Well, I know, but
such as like create another allied, unified UN type of government, intergovernment type of intercontinental thing. You know?
I'm asking you though, what would change by giving it out now? Like, if they put out that information, that would still give them reason to start a unified world, like a UFO world connection or whatever I
don't know. Timing is everything. I mean, maybe they're waiting for an election. Maybe
I just didn't know if you had a specific thing that was like, you're like, this is, if they give it out, this is what won't be able to happen if they do that. That's what I'm looking for. Like, if you were to release the information, what would you not be able to do with it that you would have done if it was hidden? Maybe you have to have
people comfortable with the idea that aliens exist first and slowly introduce it. And then once they're there, I don't know how you measure that. Maybe it's just like the less comments. I honestly don't know how you measure that. But it's like you introduce the idea for so long, so that way people warm up to it, and then they go, "Oh shit, it's finally fucking here." You know?
I just
What are we
think
gonna
like
do about
I just think at a certain point, I just looked this up. How many people believe in aliens? It says this article, Pew Research Center, most Americans believe there's life on other planets and that there are aliens that exist. I don't know.
Americans.
I understand that, but I'm saying I would argue that if Americans I would say other countries probably even more so, because I think a lot more other countries are a lot more inept with the sky and the stars and stuff, and they still have that culture around them that maybe not. I'm not saying all of them.
Like Europe?
I don't know about Europe, but I'm just saying I don't know. I believe that some of the other countries, I think that they would fall in line with that. I don't know what the number, it just says most. I don't know if that's 60%, 80, 90. But the point is most people.
I would imagine majority of the world even are believing in it.
I would have to think it's over 70%. In my personal opinion, I'm just making that number up.
What if it's more of a national security concern if they were to release everything?
Maybe.
Kind of like I've never been in the military, so I could be talking out of my ass. But if they had things and they had technology from these things, and then they released to the American public, oh yes, we have this, does that give incentive for other countries to maybe say, we have to do what we can to get that right now?
Exactly.
Like, and it could start a conflict.
But here's the thing. If you actually have it, then
but there's a difference in just having it and being able to capitalize on having it.
Yeah. I think that goes back to the argument of like, how far are we with the technology?
Yeah.
If we have it and we can use it, then they would not care, because they would say, try to, because we're literally going to zip around the skies here and just fucking, zap everybody and like fuck a nuclear bomb.
So how long, how long do you think until they release, like, this is not exactly, because they're
Greg,
probably not ever going to release everything.
You think this year, possibly, right? This is the year
that they release. We have this kind of technology. We've been studying this for years, and now all of a sudden, now we can release this to the public, and manufacturing facilities get going on flying cars and upgrading our whole infrastructure.
I think they're going to restrict that for as long as.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to have like some sort of evidence that comes out this year, whether that be a photo, a video, or something. I think we're going to see a being this year.
A being?
It won't be like, yeah. I think it'll actually be like evidence of an existing interdimensional being.
Do you think he's going to come out on like a press conference to the microphone and be like, my fellow Americans, this is an alien, and then he walks.
Yep. Walks. Hillary Clinton will walk on stage.
Walks up to the microphone and goes,
unzip her skin.
And then they're like,
Biden will be like, "How old are you?" I think it's going to be
Hillary will unzip her skin, and it'll all just be unveiled right there. But
I think it'll be a video.
Like this year
video of it. I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
You know.
Like a military released video,
like an autopsy, or like a cat, one that they caught from a crash, or them looking at it or studying it, or actual crash footage. I agree with Greg. I think that's because here's the thing: they can bring out UFOs, but they still can't say what that is. But if you see a body of something that you've never seen before, that is what's going to make people go, "Holy fuck!"
Well, how many closed door
that's
hearings?
What this year's going to be.
How many closed door hearings can they have before they have to release something?
I don't know. I just saw an article before we bounce. I know we got to bounce. I just saw an article, dude, that said that I think it's bullshit. That the government may be hiding a 30-foot wide alien, and they're going to be exposing it within the next couple months.
The being is 30 feet wide?
Yes, that's what.
So the article came from where?
Dude, I don't even know. It's just it was circulating. Multiple people talking. I'm like, listen, I know it's bullshit. But I'm saying, like, that's the kind of stuff we're going to start seeing if we start hearing that a video of a body or something's coming out. That they have
30 foot wide.
30 foot
it's
wide.
Gilbert Grape's mom. That's who's going to be exposed.
It's the whale.
Yeah. Stupid.
Can you imagine how big the ship would have to be?
Yeah.
Like,
right here.
For him to sit in a
3 days ago.
30-foot wide
the Irish
Star
captain's
chair?
The Irish Star, baby. U.S.
Oh,
government
okay.
could
So
be
it's
set
real.
to reveal has been hiding a real-life 30-foot wide alien.
I like how you say the Irish Star, and Greg goes, "Oh, okay, so it's real."
Yep.
Yeah, I believe it.
Dude, it's fake. It's fake. But my point is the talking is already there. And
Oh,
people
yeah.
are
It's been there for a long time,
something.
though.
So that's where I'm at with it. It's interesting, man.
Yeah.
Election season, maybe the big fucking breakthrough of an alien.
Yeah.
Damn,
That's all gonna
2024 is
happen,
going to be wild, bro. Hopefully we're free doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm just saying
hopefully it's some other disease.
It's inevitable that something is released.
I agree.
They can't have this many meetings and then have no information for the public.
So that's more reason to vote, people. We need Trump in office when the aliens come because God forbid Joe Biden's in office. We're fucked. You know what I'm saying? That should be his campaign.
Yo, yeah.
You want me to talk to the interstellar people, okay? Not fucking this man. He can't even speak a word.
Yeah, because then they're like, they come down here and they ask for their leader and they meet Joe Biden and they're just like, we got to get rid of
Aliens
these.
don't speak.
We got to get
over,
Joe.
Yeah,
we
they
got to
gotta
get rid of
probe
these
you.
retards.
They don't speak dementia. Okay, Greg.
Well, interdimensional. I mean, dementia. Come on
Yes,
now.
dude. Interdimensional.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's true.
All right, Greg. Cheers to you. Chris, cheers to you.
Cheers,
Great show,
everybody.
guys.
Cheers, everybody.
You guys all take care.
Have a good night.